Okay, cool. Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, the 1st of December. I always think we have like really profound book club timings, if that makes sense. And I'm just singing Karen's praises. Thank you so much for hosting book club last week. And when you said if you're asked to read something, there's something in that for you. Lucy told me about that. We did a fair on Sunday together, and I was like, oh, because I hadn't heard the recording at that point, and I was like, wow, like where did that come from? Because that's so profound. Like, can you just tell, where did that come from? Because I was like, I love that, Karen.
I think when I was thinking, how am I going to host this? Because obviously I had some big boots to fill even before then, and I thought, some people don't like reading, but sometimes if you change your perception, maybe you're given those words by the universe because you need them at that point in time. So I just thought maybe that would be the best way to look at it.
Perfect. Love it. Thank you. Wise lady. And also, when you read a book and you feel, oh my God, the book is talking to me. Like it's just spot on. And I always don't know. I kind of read up to 3/4 of a book in like some books. And then that last like third or a quarter isn't the same feeling anymore. Yeah, we talk about feelings, aren't we? So anyway, so then I put the book down because I'm like, I think that I've got what I need from that book, if that makes sense. And you don't, so does anyone do that? Or we like the squares in the group that need to finish it from start to finish, like, yeah, and you may even be dragging you're just like, this is just really quite painful. Like I'm walking through treacle, but I started and I will finish because it means I've read that book entirely and I can tick the checklist off and I've done the do. Yeah, I was like that once, and even like you start booking and you're really not enjoying it, and you it's crazy, right? Just that again, attach the feelings to the state of being, right? If it doesn't feel right, which we're on chapter 8, 9, 10, then guess what? Then it's because it's not right. Yeah, can't miss the end. See, aren't we stubborn in our human ways? Have I met all of you guys on the call here? I feel like they've got so many new people. It's like Al Hasty.
Can I say something? Because you've not met Lacey, but I would like to share
that.
I would like to share something, because it's poignant with the book. So Lacey, I'm honoured that I was Lacey's mentor and she was my mentee in the Santander Women in Business programme. And so it runs from March until the end of November. And it was the closing ceremony with big announcements yesterday. And I'd said to Lacey when we were doing this book, I said, I think you should join the book group. I think it'd be good. And she's doing Miracle Morning. And lo and behold, yesterday, when the closing ceremony was on, I knew that Lacey was shortlisted in the top 5 for the most transformative mentee. Okay, so before the 12 o'clock ceremony, and it's 2 hours, I had gone on to moonpig.com and I found a card, congratulations, and I typed it all out that she was the winner. I didn't check out, but I had it all typed out. And of course, she is the winner. Oh, she's got her card there.
Oh, wow. I love it.
And that was fast because I did that yesterday. And, you said, Lacey, that this book has come at the right time. And, we've been manifesting it and it's all over LinkedIn. Even the head of Banking Santander did a post about Lacey, and she's also up for another award. So we're manifesting it.
Well, huge congratulations, Lacey. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet everyone. And Elaine was the most fabulous banter. She can beat a drum all about me all she likes, but without her guidance, there's no way I could have been a winner. So absolutely great team.
Oh, and how are you feeling?
Oh, over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. Just, I don't think I've come down from the buzz.
Don't come down. Stay there. Excellent. Cool. Well, cheers to you. I just have a glass of wine because we had an awesome month end and I'm feeling in the mood. I'm in the mood for dancing, romancing. Yeah, I'm giving it all tonight. Anyway, book club. So, not singing club, book club. Right. Okay. So I just want to go on reflection. Thank you to who stepped in. Lorraine, Nikki, and Karen. I'm honored that you all have started saying we are here to make this world a better place, first for ourselves, and then for the people we come in contact with. And that was a Bob Proctor saying that I used to start every book club saying, and you guys have, and I was like, I haven't said that recently, so thank you for reminding me of me. So that's why I've started that way. Also, I want to say about, you spoke about Thanksgiving, because it was actually on Thanksgiving. And, you know, I remember thinking, you know, working out what is why, you know, we talk about, oh, it's a shame that the UK don't celebrate Thanksgiving and the US do. And then somebody said to me something that stuck in my mind, and it was like, Thanksgiving isn't to thank for the year just gone. Thanksgiving is to thank for the year ahead, the good crops, the fertile crops, the, you know, the good weather. And again, so that's the gratitude, isn't it? Giving thanks. You know, the thanks is you're putting it out there that the year ahead is going to be a year to be thankful for. And I thought, oh, I've always thought, you know, you thanked, it was for what you've received, but it's for what you will receive, because they believe they're going to receive. Does that make sense? So again, that's the whole thing, isn't it? About vibration, putting out your expectation, you know, all of that. Okay, I made some notes. So oh, this is so funny, because the homework, well done, I think 3 of you did the homework. And the reason I set that task is because if we get too emotionally sort of like, if we want something, or, you know, desire something, that's not want, that's not a good word. If we desire something and we haven't achieved it yet, the attachment means because the longer it takes, the more we get resistant to it. It just is human nature, okay? And then you still want it, but now you start to come into that place more that, you know, you haven't had it yet. So you're starting to go, you know, you're not in the right vibration to attract it. Does that make sense? So I wanted you to do homework where you had no real attachment. It was something you were just kind of like playing with the universe. Let's play a game, universe. Let's play, you know, like you and me. What's that game when you do your cards and, like, you know, that the higher card wins? Snap, snap. Okay, because the universe, you know, it's alive, it's vibrational, it's real. Okay, so it's like, tune in with the universe, play a game. And so for me, it was that Scout motorbike. I was just like, yeah, that'd be cool. 2 days later, it was there. So I hadn't built up that too much of an attachment. There was no resistance over time. Yeah, you're £300. That was hilarious. I love that. So anyway, I was listening to that. So maybe if you haven't done that yet, manifestation with no attachment, because it can, the universe likes speed. Believe it or not, guys, if you are limited, which we humans unfortunately become like this, by time and money, you've become limited and you've forgotten your true source is that you are limitless. Take the cloak of the material world off, you know, a bit like Harry Potter, when he has the Marauders map and he has the invisibility cloak. You have confined yourself to this physical world of limited. You're not limited. Where were you before your soul came into this body? Where do you go when you die? You are limitless. So if you are at any time going to the money and the time worries, it's because you've made yourself limited. So really tune in on that thought process, okay? And then it was so funny because I was listening to you, Karen, and on my run, it was in the pitch black. Nanook did a poo and I was like, oh, for God's sake. And I was like, it's such a pain because I'm on my phone, I'm going to get out the torch, I've got to get the poo bag, you know, and I was like manifesting. I said, oh my God, can I just get a light somewhere, universe? Can you just give me a light? And this car came from nowhere with its headlights. And I was like, this is perfect. And then I was like, so where do I see the poo? And the steam was coming off I was like, and I thought, I have to mention this in the book club because that was the fastest manifestation I've ever done, listening to you guys chat. I think it was Lorraine telling a £300 story. So again, it's remember what we do is remember we've talked about throwing that you know, like having that boomerang, and we know what we need to do, guys. You do the action. Okay, so whether that's thinking the thought or being more deliberate in your action, if it's something you really want in a bigger scale, let's say you want to immigrate. So you have to do the steps, do the process, do the forms, fill out the forms, do what you need to do. Once you've done the action, that's it, release it, let go, and allow the universe to do its part. Now, most people aren't doing that. Okay, they're too attached to the outcome. They want to control it, so they don't trust in the process. You do everything you can do. Like when I wanted Katie to go to Stanford High School, took a photo of her on the steps. It was my screensaver. bought her uniform. She hadn't got in. We had to go through court. Got all her uniform, put it on the top of the stairs, her blazer, made sure my girls realized that every time you see that, you know, you got to believe that Katie's at that school. And they were like, yeah, mommy, we believe you that it's happened. You know, so I had more than just me because it's numbers. And then, you know, so every time we walked up the stairs, there was her blazer. It was on my screensaver. It was on her screensaver. And I worked and I did everything I could. I moved to Stanford. She was registered in school. We just had to go through court. I bought a uniform. I spent, you know, all that money without even, it was going to happen. But I knew if I did every action step possible in the physical world, then that's my job. And the universe delivers every time because my belief stayed true. So if there's something you want, you haven't received it, maybe you haven't done that work, or maybe you're blocking it because you've done the work and you're preventing the faith in our Mr. Universe to come in and step in and do his job. Does that make sense? So really think about that. This is all my thoughts from the book club. I'm just reflecting on last week's book club, on what people were saying, like you were sharing things. I was like, oh, kind of feel I want to like mention this, mention that. By the way, we're not going to get past chapter. No, I'm joking. But I thought it was important to share. So do the action, step back and let the universe do its thing. All right. Because for me, sometimes when you really think you want something and it doesn't happen, there is always a higher person, divine time in charge. So for me, I wanted to get married, was with Paul 7 years, and boy, can I manifest. I know how it works. I've done it many, many times, and it never worked out. It never happened. So, you know, and it was something I truly wanted in my heart. So again, what's the lesson there for me? So now it hasn't happened. I'm on my own. I'm now looking back and going, I'm so pleased it didn't happen. I understand it now. But 7 years is a long time to want something that hasn't turned out in the way I thought it would, or because I know I can manifest. Yeah. So again, just remember there's something higher in charge, and you may think you want it and it's right for you, but they always know the answer. So again, it's that faith and trust, even though it's going to hurt like freaking buggery. It just is what it is. So again, it's acceptance. It's being gracious, you know. Amazing Grace, Nikki. Wow, Graceland. Graceland is my orphanage in Africa. That's what I'm going to call it, Graceland. So you talk about Amazing Grace. You're talking about Thanksgiving. I was just like, oh my God, you guys are so in tune. I love it. And then I just want to say, it talked about meditation. For me, the easiest way to get into the alignment is breath work. Just close my eyes and breathe. That straight away gets me into alignment. It's the quickest way possible. And I love your Karen 7 Laws of Life at the end, because that just resonated. I was like, I'm gonna need to go back to recording because I was running, write it down and have it, because I want to remember that, because I want that to become me. Like when I talk like this, it's just gonna like roll off my tongue because I know it. I am it, if that makes sense. So thank you so much for that. Right. Okay, I would like this book to be read and finished, by the way. So when it comes to January 2023, we're starting a new book. This is the next book. Napoleon Hill's back. He's appearing twice in our book club. He's the only author who's come in twice. This is the next one. Anyone read that? No one? Oh, you're in for a treat.
Was that the one they weren't going to publish because of the title?
Well, because of the content too, Lacey. So it was written back in 1938 and has only recently been published. So that's your next book, ladies. And no, gentlemen. Now, let me just touch on that, because sometimes I hate that when people disappear and you don't know, you're like, oh, that's weird. Nigel is not here anymore. And the reason why, we're on the WhatsApp chat. So he messed up a couple of times. He was pulled up for it and he did apologize straight away. So the times that I knew of what he did get the benefit of the doubt. That's what you do. But then he did that voice note. I actually saw it and didn't listen to it because I just didn't want to listen to it. And I heard that what he said was not very nice. And then I know he deleted it, but I'm so sorry for all of you who did listen to it. I did not listen to it. But when it came again, I was like, I can't do this. This is, you guys are precious to me and this is my baby. And, how many chances do you give somebody? I know Jesus would say, 7 times or 77. I'm afraid as a leader, I have to make those decisions that you may or may not agree with me, but that's what I have to take on the chin. If you don't, I'm not going to apologize for it. I know I've made the best decision for everyone in this group, by the way. So I took him out on Saturday. I know Emma spoke to Nikki spoke to me, and I took him out, and I was just, he's not right for the group. But we welcome everyone and anyone to the group, guys. So now if you wonder where he is, that's why. So his energy just wasn't right in the end for the group. But so there we go. All right. Okay, good. So I want to get that, because I don't like it when things go and you're like, what happened there? You know, so he's the only person I've ever never mind, c'est la vie. You know what? That's life, isn't it? So that's what I want to share with you. Right, this book, I just quickly want to share something here with you, which I thought was a really, this is why it's made me so excited about, we're talking about rhythm, okay, the vibration. So just a tiny thing. Man alone has the power to establish his own rhythm of thought, providing he exercises this privilege before hypnotic rhythm has forced him upon the influences of the environment. So hypnotic rhythm, never even heard of that before, but that's where you are not thinking for yourself consciously. You're just following the masses. You're going to love this book, promise. Okay, let's go back to the book. Right, well done, Karen, chapter 7. So we're in chapter 8. These are small chapters. We may or may not fly through. So you are a vibrator. Sorry, you are a I do need glasses. So you are a vibrational transmitter and receiver, broadcasting and receiving, right? So let's have the first page, 39, and so from even more than all the way to the wee paragraph, your existence. So I would get like Leslie Hughes to unmute and read that, please. She's off.
Yes, I'm here. Okay, even more than the material being that you have now have come to know as you are a vibrational being. When someone looks at you, they see you with their eyes and hear you with their ears, but you are presenting yourself to them and to the universe in a much more empathetic way than can be seen or heard. You are a vibrational transmitter, and you are broadcasting your signal in every moment of your existence.
Thank you, sweetie. Okay, I'll tell you somebody who I was with today in Dance in My Kitchen. She's on this side of my screen, absolutely sending out these amazing vibrations, like just like awesome. Nikki Marchant, right now you are on such a high vibration. I mean, and she's having people come up to her and going, oh my God, like, you know, the magic around you, you're just energized. And it's so true, isn't it? We know when somebody walks in the room, they light up a room, right? And when somebody comes in and it's like, gosh. And the more you guys do work on this, the more sensitive you will become to loud noise, loud people, news, even radio, people speaking jargon. I can't stand that's, you know, it's like if something isn't going to, if you're just speaking for the sake of speaking, it doesn't interest me. Like, what am I, you know, it's like, I don't want to hear like mediocrity. Oh, no. Like, give me something that's going to raise me, lift me, interest me, that I can learn from. So you will find you'll get more sensitive to these situations, okay? And it's a good thing, by the way, it's not a bad thing. So if you right now are transmitting, what would you say? So if we're radio stations, because we are broadcasting, transmitting, broadcasting, receiving, and we are, so we've got 100 FM all the way to 1000 FM. Give me a number, think about where you are, what FM number are you? So from 100 to 1000 FM, I'm gonna ask you, oh, already people are putting in the chat. Okay, so we have 700 from Lorraine. Oh, Lacey's above Lorraine, 777. Karen's at 875. God, that's gone to her head being the book club person. Is it 777? I'm joking, Karen. Leslie's is, oh, there's lots of sevens happening. 699. Dottie, 699. 555 is Emma. Emma, you're the lowest. Well, you think you are. All right, Leslie, Karen, you should be an 888, or people doing the treble numbers. Oh, Nikki Marchant, 999. That's emergency. I need a doctor. Okay, 888. Charmaine, I haven't seen your number going there. Or Morag, Caroline, Juliet, Mintu, You put your numbers in there yet? Oh, Mint is in 888666, Johnny. Okay. All right. Karen sees 8s all the time. Can I, Morag, what's your number? I didn't see your number. Well, come on, girl. Don't just sit there like empty in space. 450, you're the lowest. Anyone else? Okay. Ooh, Lucy, 70. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in the fun. Morag, unmute yourself. Why do you think you're so low? Because you actually put yourself as the lowest in the group. What's with that?
It was just actually the first number that came into my head was even lower than that. So I just thought, well, I'll up it a bit. I mean, I do feel that my vibration is very high when I'm out and about and socializing. But you asked how right at this moment in time, I would say that's where I am.
Okay, thank you for being honest. And are you consciously working on raising your vibration?
Yeah.
That's the answer. That's all we can, coming on this book club is raising your vibration. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And Nikki, why did you think you were the highest at 999? Please unmute and share.
Because it's called aim high, we're in Sagittarius, which is aim true, like kind of if you don't aim high, what are you going to do? You need to shoot for the stars and you might reach the moon, I mean, it's like kind of why wouldn't you?
Love it. Thank you. All right,
and
good.
I was listening to lots of things on the way back from yours for an hour and a half, and it's literally about embodying sparkle all the time, because that's how you attract, and that's what I was listening to. So it's like, all the time I'm listening and washing myself with this stuff. So it's like kind of, if you decide what you want, what do you want in December, and then really get intentional about that. That's how I manifest.
You know what? I'm obsessed. Can I just say obsessed? I'm wearing the perfume obsession today, actually, because I'm obsessed with my Arbonne team and all of that. But I'm obsessed with this stuff. I freaking love it. When I started this a long time ago, it's just like, oh my God, I can't get enough of it. I genuinely am obsessed with this. I love it. So I'm so pleased you two have joined the obsession group. All right. On that note, talking about be intentional on what you want to achieve for the rest of the month of December, Nikki Marchant, I need you all to think of a word for next year. Okay, I know Lucy shared it with me, but our last call, we're going to do it between Christmas and New Year, right? And we're going to all share our word. That's going to be our last call before the new year, because I really want you all to think of what you are, where you're going. That to me, honestly, it creates that intention creates your future. Again, what we do now is your future. Lacey's right in there. Okay. And then I want you to tell me why, but that will be then. All right. Thank you, Lacey. So guys, okay. So at the bottom of that page, there is where he says, immediately your present and future circumstances begin to change in response to the signal you are offering now. And so the entire universe right now is affected by what you are offering. So does that mean that what you did in the past doesn't count? Anybody want to comment on that? Go, Lorraine.
Well, our past is what kind of defines us in some ways, although it doesn't totally define you. But I think life experiences are often what give us strength to go forward. And if you've had some bad experiences, yes, you want to ditch them. But, past experiences, if you think of the great experiences that have led you on to do greater things, then I think that it's a good thing. But I think for people who are quite troubled and have had traumatic times, maybe they're not so good, but they have to get rid of those demons anyway to move forward, because you can't move forward if you're hanging on to demons.
Thank you. So, great quote here. This is funny, James Lavelle, his post on Facebook today, spot on. The real flex is how many wounds you can turn into wisdom, how much pain you can translate into progress, and your ability to turn tragedies into triumphs. So you know what? That's the work, isn't it? So your past doesn't define you, but it shapes you. Yeah, and that's the truth. So really, isn't that exciting to know everything here and now is your future? So I love adversity for this. You know why? Because every time I hit adversity, what it does, it's my rubber pants, like my, you know, like I'm bounced back up because I know that this is shit. And I'm like, this isn't meant to be my journey. Like, this isn't my story. This isn't going to define me. So it gives me, it's like awakening to get back in the now. You know, like Bob Proctor talks about the light switch. You know, if you feel in the dark, go and switch a light switch from off to on and surround yourself in light. So when I get adversity, it's like if I'm dozing or whatever, it's like a wake-up call to go, get in the now. So it makes me go, okay, stop. I need to really come into the now by the breath and change that thought immediately, or the feeling. Yes? So it's not a bad thing, because it kind of wakes you up, it shakes you up, doesn't it? What, Elaine? Progress is when your triggers don't trigger you anymore. Sense of peace. Yes, Elaine. Yes, definitely. 100%. I love that. And I would say to people about talking about your transmitting, like a radio station receiving, if you are on, let's say 9, whoever put an 888 right now, okay, and you're doing this work, and so all your friends on 888, they're there, and you rise to 992, what's going to happen is in that in-between phase, guys, it's suddenly going to be for you as well, okay, because it doesn't always make sense. It isn't easy. That's the whole point. This is why many people don't do it or can't do it, because it's suddenly it goes, and it's like your friend's like, I can't hear you the same, like you don't feel the same anymore. You're not, you know, it's not the same, and you're trying to hang on to this old school friend fun that you had, and they're like, you know, it's weird, it's just something about it, I don't know what it is, it's changed. Yeah, and you too can feel it, and then suddenly you get to, you know, where that 992, whatever that number I said, and suddenly it's like, no, 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 it's crystal clear, and it's like, oh, but the person at 888, they're gone, and it's not like this is me and Arbonne, okay, it's not like I fell out with anyone. They also could have done the work to raise their vibration, but they chose not to. So look, they're still my friends, but I know that, you know, you don't know what you don't know. Does that make sense? So this is all of a sudden why your family, I mean, families are just weird anyway, but, you know, but a lot of times we on our journey, guys, you're going to lose people, but you're going to meet people along the way. Yeah. So it's not that you've lost them. It's just that, you know, mainly it is you, because you've done the work. They haven't. Yeah. But that's okay. You know, because the more you know, the more you can share and help other people, because really that's what we're here to do on Earth, right? The more we can give, the better. Okay. So let's quick turn page. Look, it's probably 6:30 and we've done one page. Oh, I was right. Oh, knew it. 29+6, we've done one page. Good job, Fiona. All right, somebody else take over next week. I'm joking. Right, okay. So let's go. So page 40. So I just want to talk through this. So I loved all I just highlighted literally the headings of each sort of subsection, because it was just perfectly written. You are an internal personality focusing on the now. Do we all get that? We are eternal. Yeah, nothing is created, nothing is destroyed, right? We are eternal. So that first sentence, your world, present and future, is directly and specifically affected by the signal that you are now transmitting. So again, Morag, not feeling a high vibration, your signal is weaker, let's say. Again, you have to tune in and go, okay, how can I change that? How can I make it better? What do I need to do? You know, and then can we get that wee paragraph and that subsection? Your feelings are all the way to and currently. Maura, can you unmute and read that, please?
Just so you know, tomorrow's networking that I'm going to be involved with a charity, I'll be very high tomorrow. I will be emitting light, darling. So yeah, it's just at this moment in time. This is because
that's all right.
I can't stay in that high peak all the time.
Exactly.
And troughs. Yeah, your feelings, yeah, that's what we was talking about there, are the representatives of your guidance system. In other words, the way you feel is your true indicator of your alignment with your source and of your alignment with your own intentions, both pre-birth and currently.
Pre-birth and currently. I thought it was interesting. Pre-birth. Anybody know more about that? because he's saying it's your current now to shape your future, but then he says it's your pre-birth. Anyone get that?
There's things that I've heard in the past, and it's like we choose our families. So that's where I think this comes into play.
Okay, I think you're probably right there. Yeah, Karen.
Hello, I would like more access. So before you come into your physical body, you plan everything of your physical existence. So you already have that vibrational personality on a soul level before you even come into your physical vessel. And then when you come into your physical vessel, then you act out or aim to act out the true essence of the teachings that you want to take with you as you pass through your physical life, and the different types of karmic debt that you have to deal with throughout your physical existence.
Thank you so much, wise lady. Thank you for that. Perfect. Love it. Okay, so the next title, Your Powerful Beliefs Were Once Gentle Thoughts. Now, again, I underlined this entire paragraph, the 2 paragraphs. I really like that. But let's get Mintu. Can you please unmute and read the second one? When you give your attention all the way to thought, a belief.
When you give your attention to anything, the vibration at first is not very strong, but if you continue to think about it or speak about it, the vibration gets stronger. So with enough attention to any subject, it can become a dominant thought. As you give more and more attention to any thought, and as you focus upon it, and therefore practice the vibration of it, the thought becomes an even bigger part of your vibration. And you could now call this practice thought a belief.
Thank you so much. A belief, yeah? Okay, great. So remember that thought, because the universe doesn't have a sense of humor, that thought can be good or bad, can't it? So I'm amazing or I'm rubbish. And then if you turn that into belief, we know that's not true. So that always say that word belief, L-I-E, lie is in the middle of the word belief. And I would say most people are lying to themselves. Their belief system is not right. Wouldn't you say? Yeah. And actually, this is so weird. I was walking to the front door the other day and I suddenly thought, and I said to myself, hello. And I went, hell? Oh, it's got hell in the word hello. What's that all about? Anybody know? Hello? So I can't say that anymore. I have to say hi, hi. Thought, hello? I don't know, just kind of struck me. Anyway, weird, hey? Right, okay, so next one says, page 41, the title, The Longer You Think Thoughts, the Stronger They Become. So can I get Elaine? Earth calling Elaine. Are you with us, my lovely? All right. Can you chat, or you've got someone in the room?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I've not got the right book.
Oh, are you able to follow? Oh, okay.
Asking is given.
Okay.
Sorry, so I'm just being listening.
Okay, no worries. All right, never mind. Thank you anyway. All right, Juliet, can you please unmute and read? So it's like sort of halfway down the second paragraph, it says, if the subject of your attention all the way to of bad feelings. Juliet.
So on page
41. So it's, I've just read out the title, The Longer You Think Thoughts, the Stronger They Become. And it's halfway down the second paragraph. It says, it's the second, you got it, the third sentence. If the subject of your all the way to bad feelings.
So this is the second paragraph.
Yes.
As you achieve a stronger alignment.
Go down, not that sentence, not the next one. In other words, the third sentence, if the subject of your attention all the way to of bad feelings.
Okay, if the subject of your attention is in alignment with that, what the source of your being knows, you would feel the harmony of your thoughts in the form of good feelings. But if the subject of your attention is not in alignment with what your source knows it to be, you would feel the disharmony of your thoughts in the form of bad feelings.
Thank you. Okay, where do we feel, guys? Where's your feelings? Where do you get your biggest, like, Where do we feel? How do we know? How do we know what a feeling like? Where is it in your chest? Says Karen. Ah,
In
okay.
your gut, in your gut.
In your gut, Nikki. Anybody else? Any feelings anywhere else particularly? Smile, Morag. Cute. Gut. Gut, heart, head, says Caroline. Yeah. Your gut and heart. Solar plexus. Interesting. So these are feelings that that something happens and you know the feeling is good or bad. So what is the feeling then? What happens? Anybody? Describe it to the group. Go on, Karen.
I feel sometimes that if things are going bad, it's like a low systemic ache and constriction in my chest. If I'm happy, then it's like a lightness. It's like, oh God, it's amazing. That type of feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Thank you. Anyone else can describe maybe how they feel in another part of their body, Lorraine?
Fiona, because I think a lot of it is, you know, we talk about in life a gut feeling, you know, because it kind of comes from there. And I think when, you know, if something's not right, your gut churns a bit, you know, it's like it's kind of gurgling a bit because you know there's something not right, there's something amiss. But I think when it's something fabulous, I think you feel it all over your body, not just one place.
Ooh, yes, that's good. Thank you. That's a good, yes. Somebody put butterfly feeling. That tingling, isn't it? It's that, oh, it's like real, like, oh, kind of feeling. That's so interesting. Tingling and bliss. I like that. Yeah. So it's, yeah. Okay. So it's actually, you know, it's physically affecting you, isn't it? That's the whole point, right? Okay, great. Okay. And then the next title on page 41, the bottom title says, your attention to it invites it in. And so, okay, so let's do page 42, that paragraph, on that, the second paragraph. And so those who, all the way to in all times. Emma, can I get you to unmute and read that, please?
Sorry, where from? From where?
So, and so the second paragraph, those who, all the way to in all times. Page 42.
Page 42, that's why. Okay. And so those who are mostly observers thrive in good times, but suffer in bad times, because what they are observing is already vibrating. And as they observe it, they include it in their vibrational countenance. And as they include it, the universe accepts it as their point of attraction, and it gives them more of the essence of it. So for an observer, the better it gets, or the worse it gets, the worse it gets. However, one who is a visionary thrives in all times.
Thank you. Oh, right. Put your hands up if you think you are an observer. Nikki, did you put your hand up or were you just doing this going phew, I'm glad I'm not. Karen, observer. Oh, okay. Hands up if you think you are visionary. Yes, 2 hands from Lorraine. Okay, that's thinking. Next question, hands up if you know you are a visionary. Like, no, like, okay, I've realized says Nikki. Okay, great. So, okay, look, I think because we are physical attached to, like we're human attached to a physical world, that whole thing, you know, people go, oh, sometimes you're having a spiritual, spiritual experience. No, we are spiritual. Yeah, always spiritual in a physical world. It's not just physical, sometimes having a spiritual experience. That's how we're talking about emotions, feelings. But it's difficult sometimes to detach from the world we have our basic 5 senses in alignment with, yeah? So being an observer means that, you know, I suppose we have to function, right? You know, with people, with everything around us. But the visionary is the higher, isn't it? So you're in 3 at any one time. You're not just one or the other. You know, you are spiritual, intellectual, and physical. Bob Proctor teaching, yeah. You are not just, and that's true, right? We are all the sum of whole, the sum of the whole and the whole of the sum. So I think we are an observer as well as a visionary, yeah? But I personally think that we choose to focus our thoughts and beliefs on the higher, because we know visionary is about the growth, isn't it? It's about raising us up rather than just staying where we are, which is observing what we have, yeah, and not knowing, having the knowledge we can change what we have. You get it, Karen? Yeah. So it's like we are actually left and right hand. I don't think you can be visionary without an observant, and because you have to survive this physical world. Has anyone got anyone else to comment on what I'm saying or add to what I'm saying? Anybody got anything else with that one?
Well, it was just that he put just observer and visionary. So I've realized I'm not an observer, but visionary is a very limited word, like you said, because it doesn't actually incorporate all the senses in that way. See what I mean? But I've realized my whole life that is how I have been, because I'm never just observing the situation. I've been very much like creating, but then realizing that I can now manage that creation.
Yeah, and probably not very popular for that creation as well, because you stood out too much. And that's why I think people pull back from being visionary, because it means you're saying things, doing things, going towards the light. And again, changing your vibration, getting higher, rising. And most people are going, bit weird, really, because all of our friends are on 888 and you're 999. Like, hello, what's wrong with us? Why would you do that? Why would you leave us behind? You know what? You know.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you know, that's very clever, that paragraph, because basically none of us know who we are until you actually start doing the work. You know, whatever you are, you can improve. So if you're an observer, integrate and become, so that you understand that you are manifesting and you are able to. Whereas, you know, if you're already doing that stuff, but like not in managing it or not doing it with intention, as Wayne Dyer would say, then, by the way, my ear is really red. It feels like there's a lot of information coming in right now. You know, you don't realize what you've got, or who you are, what you can create. It's this whole like, oh my God, you know, it's like that. It's almost like it's a molten thing in your hand. You don't know what you're doing. So it's quite an active energy in here.
Yeah, you know, it's like saying to, you know, you need to be bad to be good, to be good to be great, to be great to be awesome. But look at anyone with a superpower. Spider-Man, for example, he got bitten by a spider. And the first part was ugly, wasn't it? It was like, he had these headaches, and he was like, you know, he was like, his vision, like he was like kind of like hallucinating, wasn't he? It was like, because he was changing, he was transforming, you know, metamorphosis, the process, you know, that kind of silkworm goes into a cocoon and becomes a moth. So in that transition, like I said, it's like, it's not pretty. And most people will go, oh my God, like this is too, you know, you really have to understand the process. But he didn't have a choice, because he was going to be a superhero Spider-Man, but he didn't know it at the beginning, and it wasn't fun. It's not fun. It's hard, you know, because you become something that most people can't relate with. Does that make sense? What did you put in there, that list, Lorraine? What was it all about in the chat? What was that, sweetie?
Sorry, it was just that, you know, over the years, we've picked different words of the year. So last year, mine was abundance, and then I've had empowerment. And this year, I've gone through all the words I've had in the past. And then it wasn't until we were talking, I thought visionary is perfect, because it means you're ambitious, not just for yourself, but for others. Grand was a bigger picture, idealistic, introspective, lofty, noble, quixotic, radical. And I just thought, oh, I think that's going to be my word for this year, because so many people, because of the whole sort of coming out of the whole pandemic and people being panicked, people are going to revert into themselves rather than be visionary. And to help people and to move forward, I think we absolutely need to be visionaries, and we know we can help people. That's what we do on a daily basis. And I think we're all going to have to be visionaries to go forward and help people, rather than have that lack mindset and think, well, you know, energy bills are rising, you know, people are having cutbacks. We need to be the stronger visionaries to save the world, and it's a visionary that will save the world.
Here, here. Well said, well said. So guess what? I like the exotic in that visionary, all about the exotic. But can I just, that's travel to me in your vision, you know, it opens up, doesn't it? You know, however, guys, being a visionary and stepping up doesn't mean you're going to be popular. Just word of warning. Okay, it is. Who was it on the, I think last week's book club said, oh, I absolutely love this. I think it was Lottie. It was like, oh my gosh, like if I've got, nobody gets this, like I'm like a one-off. Here you are. You are. And it is our job. But when you talk to people, then, you know, they don't get it. You're going to be like talking double Dutch, and you're going to be that weirdo potentially. So just remember, but you know what, get cool with that, because it's like learning to ride a bike. Now you know how to ride a bike. You can't fall off anymore, guys. Afraid not, right? And you can't get enough of this stuff because you understand it. And your job is to go out there and face ridicule, criticism, because your job is not to care what other people think of you. Because if you did, you wouldn't be here. Does that make sense? So it can be a bit, you know, but again, being superhero, for much who's given, what is that saying? For much who's given, much responsibility is given, much, I'll never remember it. Caroline, you know that super Spider-Man saying. Who knows the Spider-Man saying when he's dying, Uncle? Lorraine. Spider-Man, catch me if you can. Oh, no, my brain's going to. It's not that one.
Oh, right, sorry.
I wish it was, but look, I like that one. When he's dying, he's
like the web as fast as he can, something like that.
Charmaine knows it. Charmaine.
Yeah. With great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben said that.
Thank you. That's it. With great power, I need to write that down. With great power, sorry, I need to write this down. Great power comes great.
But there was also that in the Sojourners, which is what you're quoting, Fiona, which is and I think it's like Edison or something, because it's one of the American VPs, and she's saying something like, to much is given, you know, to much responsibility, much is given. And it's to keep you humble and to recognize that, you know, you're given a lot, but you've got a lot to do. It's that. So they're all similar things, but that's the one you're quoting from the Sojourners. I need to find it actually, because it's now bugging me.
Yeah, thank you. Do you know, guys, can I just say, you know, as an MVP, it's lonely at the top. Just saying, it is lonely, because, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, saying at the top, that's no ego with that, guys, but who do I turn to? Who do I speak to? You know, like starting this book club, you know, you guys are all like raising your vibration and catching up fast, you know, but it is, you know, it's like, and I'm not saying at the top, because I know there's some of you here are really with me anyway, but the point being is, you know, I know that, and when I go to events, I get massive headaches now. I never used to, but the last 3 times, oh my God, because it's wonderful. In the world of Arbonne, it's a little bit celebrity thing going on, but I can't walk to the toilet, and it takes me 20 minutes to get to the toilet, because everyone's like, oh, and it's amazing, don't get me wrong, but I give, and I'm literally come away and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just drained, you know. And I know that's because of the vibration stuff going on there. And so let me give you this lovely piece of advice. As you rise, and you all are, okay, it does get lonelier, but you're not lonely. The difference is you understand how the universe, you're working in harmony with the universe now. Does that make sense? Your soul, your spirit, that's your truth. Not what somebody says to you. It doesn't, I don't care what anyone says to me anymore. Like, I mean, I do, but I don't. Does that make sense? It's lovely, but I don't need appraisal. I don't rejection, whatever. You know, I know who I am, and I know I'm living at my higher purpose. So that's what happens to you. Yeah. So my real truth is these people, these guides, these books, they're all my friends. And if we're truly into the ether, I can have a meal with Napoleon Hill, Marilyn Monroe, Isaac Newton, you know, I can have all these heroes, Nelson Mandela, I can sit and have a meal with them and chat with them in the ether, because they're still all there. And he talks about this. You know, you delete a message on your phone, you know, where does that go? Doesn't disappear. Nigel's still around. All those messages are still around. The ether emails, you know, click and it's 3 times around the world. Yeah, does that make sense? So be intentional. So just know, but it's a lovely thing because you know that, you know what, you've got more, the superpower in you, because we're all born with powers beyond that we never really engage and utilize and use to our full advantage. And this stuff will give you everything you need to gear up. This is the truth. I get my hairs on my arms, you know, like stick out every time I listen to an Esther Hicks, and I think, oh, she has an Abram is an angel talking to me. An angel is talking to all of us. This is angel words. Ah, truth. Yeah. Always about helping, engaging, trusting, joy, belief, all of this. Oh my gosh. It's incredible, right? So anyway, on a side note, sorry about that. Let's get back. Oh, so exciting. Okay, so let's go to, so page 43, we will make it to the end. I will do 3 chapters tonight, I tell you. Okay, so it talks about the hidden value behind your emotional action. So let's go to page 43, the second paragraph. You were born with, and I would like the lovely Dottie to unmute and read that, please.
Can you just repeat? Sorry, because Dom is having a moment.
Page 43, second paragraph, please.
Second paragraph. You were born with sensitive, evolved, sophisticated translation of vibration that help you understand and define your experience. And in the same way that you will utilize your 5 physical senses to interpret your physical life experience, you were born with other senses, your emotions, which are further vibrational interpreters that help you understand in the moment the experience that you are living.
Thank you, sweetie. So emotions are further vibrational interpreters. Yeah, so if we know we're vibrating, so the emotions are, they're like a step up, aren't they? Okay, so the emotions, all right, so keep that in mind, turning of the page. And he goes on to say that first title, emotions are indicators of your point of attraction. So the third paragraph under that section, Karen, please unmute and read that for us.
Thank you. When you made the decision to come forth into this physical body, you fully understood your eternal connection to source energy. And you knew that your emotions would be constant indicators that would let you know in every moment your current relationship with source energy. And so understanding the powerful guidance that you have eternal access to, you felt no sense of risk, no sense of confusion, only a sense of adventure and true exhilaration.
Thank you. Right. We're getting back to that state, guys. Yeah. Isn't that where we're going? Because we came from there, limitless, time, money. We're limitless. Yeah. If you have a problem with that, you've become limited. Go back to that. Keep thinking that. Limitless is a powerful word to keep memorizing. So then he talks about emotions are indicators of your alignment with source energy. Okay. So let's go to, I want from, okay, I'll do this bit because it's halfway in between. So it's basically, and so it's the last sentence. In fact, I won't. The last sentence of page 44. And so with time and practice all the way to, you are empowered beings. And I want Lucy to unmute and read that for us, please.
And so with time and practice, you will come to know in every moment your degree of alignment with who you really are. For when you are in full allowance of the energy of your source, you thrive. And to the degree that you do not allow this alignment, you do not thrive. You are an empowered beings.
Thank you. Okay, cool. So we are empowered. In italics, empowered. We forget that. Don't we forget that? Like we become numbed. We become conditioned. Because why? because we are observers. Yeah. Okay, so we need to break that. We need to raise above it. So the next title, use your emotions to feel your way back to well-being. So, oh, this is magic. So I'm going to get Nikki to unmute and read this. In the same way that sculptors, the second paragraph, I want you to do in the same way that sculptors all the way to the end to well-being, that whole 2-3 paragraph.
In the same way that sculptors mold clay into the creation that pleases them, you create by molding energy. You mold it through your power of focus, by thinking about things, remembering things, and imagining things. You focus the energy when you speak, when you write, when you listen, when you are silent, when you remember, and when you imagine. You focus it through the projection of thought. Like the sculptors who, with time and practice, learn to mold the clay into the precise desired creation, you can learn to mold the energy that creates worlds through the focus of your own mind. And like the sculptors who, with their hands, feel their way as they recreate their vision, you will use your emotions to feel your way to well-being.
Do you really get that? Do you really understand the depth of that? Like, honestly, if you know, if you, it's beautifully read. Thank you, Nikki. Your voice is amazing. But if you really, the sculptor, like you shape, you create, the co-creator, the future life that you richly deserve. And if we did it exactly how we wanted it, or we would desire it, why are we not? Why? If we truly know that, what are we worrying about? Like, you know, it's just incredible to know that we get to have everything. You know, there's nothing to stop you but you. I mean, I absolutely love that. And my thoughts are so strong right now. I just know them, and I don't. The traveling is really open. I've been so fortunate. And I was just saying to Nikki, I listened to Ed Milet's second last podcast, and it was all about, he was really a guy who now check this out. So this guy had actually committed suicide. He had jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco and survived, okay? So he had a SEAL that had lifted him up in that waters before the people came to get him. Now, I mean, it was an absolute miracle. And then today I listened to John, the author of On Fire, that was on stage. That was also a keynote speaker for Arbonne. So he was on today. Ed Milet was a keynote speaker for Arbonne, by the way, too. But then my friend who I met in the airport, on the plane from Santiago to Houston, who was this guy who was doing trips around Chile, sent me this picture. That is a Golden Gate Bridge. He sends me this picture today. Oh, John O'Leary, that's his name. And I just long listened to that podcast. And I was just like, and a friend of mine on Friday contacted me, and his son tried to jump off a bridge. I was like, okay, so what's the signs? Universe, I need to give that podcast to that guy to give to his kid. And I'm going to send the podcast to this guy, because it's all interlinked. We are all interlinked. There's no such thing as coincidence, guys. It is divinely ordained and timed. The timing doesn't come from a mechanical device, TikTok, that's human made. Time doesn't exist. Universe of speed. Time is made up concept, right? Same as money. Money is only energy, but it's our connection as humans that we get it all confused. Yeah. So limitless, no time, no money. It's not around. Turn up in that way, in that state of being, or that state of becoming, to the higher level of your source. Yeah, because we're all going back there as we get older. Damn, I didn't quite read chapter 10. Never mind, we are done. I think it's time. Jeez. Like Karen said, isn't it incredible? You run this book club, you're like, oh no, I have finished chapter 9. I'm done, chapter 9. 7, 8, 9, I'm done. Am I? It doesn't matter anyway. I'm done, yeah? Yeah. Oh, I did. Right, let's do 10, 11, 12 next week. But what I'm going to do now, I feel as if it's the same. Okay, this stuff is repeating, isn't it? But I also will, we will finish this by the end of, I know it seems really thick, but the main point going through this book is for you to really, you know, come on here and take the magic with you and internalize it. And then don't forget it from this week to next week. Like really have the key pointers, like I've written, with great power comes great responsibility. But there are key pointers that I'm like, you know, yes, yeah, integrating is again and again. You're absolutely right, Elaine. And there's key pointers that I want you, if anything, like, you know, when you get a, you know, it's like, oh, on this call, okay, somebody, not always from me, sometimes it comes from others, you know, please hold that and just keep it there and keep it fresh. Yeah, keep it at the front of your mind and don't lose it, because if you can keep that, remember one of the higher faculties, and I was shouting out in my run and nobody said it until the last thing, was memory. That was one of the higher faculties, right? Well done, Karen, for testing them. But remember, the memory is a higher faculty. Why? Because you remember words like limitless. Oh, I am limitless. Oh, I remember when, right? And now I don't want you to forget that. And I want that to become part of your psychedelia. I want you to be that. Does that make sense? Is Lucy putting her hand up to talk, or is she stopping her kids from doing something? Okay, Lucy talk, and then we'll end because I know our hour is up. Go ahead, Lucy.
Just two things that struck me over tonight. The American Thanksgiving, we have Plough Sunday over here, which is a thanks for the harvest that's coming. So I think, thankfully, the Americans do everything much grander. We do it on a smaller scale because not many people go to church nowadays. And I think the last bit that we were reading about, why does it take sort of so long when we know we're going back to source, you know, we're open to everything and attached to nothing, is because our parents have tried to mold us. So we're having to break that. We're like chipping off our mold that we're given when we're born. You know, we come onto here as, I know what I'm trying to say, but we come through, like Karen was saying, know who we want to be, where we're going, and then we're like engulfed in clay, if you like. And then it's our job to chip away at that to make us and not our parents.
You've just done some shifts. That's what I want to achieve in this book club. You have just made some shifts there. You've just like, oh, you've connected the dots.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well,
Thank you.
I thought I had, but I wasn't, you know, that's how I was putting it into my head.
Epiphany moments change are again, soul traveling are the next level up. Anybody else quickly a highlight from this tonight's book club? Anyone like Lucy have any epiphany? Everyone, oh, just love you, Lucy. Don't miss out on that chat from Karen. There you go. That's sweet. Lucy does hugs and stuff, you know, she's turning into a right pansy. I don't recognize her anymore. Anyone else got, look, Lucy, now you're very special. Look at her face. Oh, Lucy, we love you. You're gonna have a banner next week with I love Lucy. Everybody, I'll message you privately too. I'm kidding. Anybody else got epiphany moment? All good? All right. Take this, keep working. It's
just
not
me,
easy.
Then. Just me. It's just all about
Just
me
you.
then.
Doing a great job, and you're not going to be popular, but do you want to be popular is my question to you. Okay,
I've never been popular.
Well,
I'm Marmite. Marmite is me.
Bye everyone, take care.